Alvarado,
Here.
Mayor Burke,
Here.
Councilperson Conwell,
Present.
Mayor Daley Jones, Mayor Gallo,
Here.
Marka Fields,
Here.
Mayor Kurtz,
Here.
Mayor Orcutt,
Here.
Joseph Nani,
Here.
Mayor Weiss,
Here.
Mayor Wheelo. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Do you have any comments from the public first? All right, hearing none, we'll just
We'll just
move.
go.
We'll just keep on moving. Please review the minutes from the March 12th board meeting. Are there any changes needed?
To approve.
We have a motion approved. Do you have a second? Second motion from Mayor Weiss, second from Mayor Burke. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Let's go ahead and move then to.
I guess I should have come up to.
It's okay. Well,
If we need to stop,
if
we'll
we need to
stop.
stop, we'll stop. Great.
We have a recognition for Mike Dever for his service, so I thought we could do it before we got into the body of the.
But if he doesn't show up, we've got this lovely gift that we'll raffle off.
We'll come back to it. Yeah.
All right, we'll move then to resolution number 260409A.
Thank you. Eric Engel will be presenting today.
Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Let's see. I don't know, I never know where to point this.
Point
To
now.
you, Kevin? All right, thanks. Okay, so resolution number 260409A is for a preliminary plan extension here. The applicant and owner is Pembroke William Thomas Construction 3 LTD, and the applicant himself is Mr. Thomas Simon. So the applicant is requesting a second extension of approval of the preliminary plan for phase 3 of the Pembroke Place subdivision, originally approved April 14th, 2022, and subsequently approved for a first extension on April 11th, 2024. The property in question is located on the northwest corner of the intersection of Shady and Jennings Road in Olmsted Township, and is identified by permit parcel number 26506-003. So again, the map is kind of showcasing there what has been completed thus far.
Kevin.
Sorry, thank you. So yeah, it should be noted too that Pembroke Place, it began in 2003 with the overall approval of the master plan there, which proposed 218 townhomes to be built in 4 phases there, just to note that. March 2022, the Pembroke Place folks, they submitted a preliminary plan for phase 3. Which was subsequently approved. The phase 3 proposes the creation of 50 sublots for single-family detached townhomes on roughly 9 acres, just above 9 acres there. This phase also includes the creation of open space blocks H and the continuation of open space block G, which I'll show here in a minute. Roughly 1,300 lineal feet of roadway and 2,600 lineal feet of sidewalk to be incorporated in that. So again, just parceling out the phase 3 there. Phases 1 and 2 have already subsequently been done, with phase 4 off to the west there as well. I'll just want to note too that surrounding land uses include single-family residential to the east, west, and south, and then to the north, right adjacent is Interstate 80 there. So with this, it's kind of just showcasing the 50 lots there, and then to the south of really the phase. To the north and south is the open space blocks that I just noted. So then the phase 3 preliminary plan obviously was conditionally approved by the County Planning Commission via resolution number 220414B on April 14th, 2022 as mentioned. The conditions of approval really kind of involved mostly sanitary and infrastructure needs, so updates to the storm and sanitary improvements, soil and sediment controls, and safety, roadway safety measures as well. So the Planning Commission extended the approval of that phase 3 preliminary for Pembroke Place on April 11th, 2024 with resolution number 240411D. And so meeting the conditions of approval has taken the developer longer than anticipated, and a complete set of improvement plans has not yet been submitted to the Department of Public Works. So those efforts are still ongoing there. So the previous phases, as I mentioned, have been completed at this point, but the developer still needs more time to complete that phase 3. Those improvement plans, which again are more or less, they have to meet all the standards set by Public Works. And so on March 17th, 2026, Mr. Tom Simon requested that final preliminary plan extension in order to remain compliant while those final infrastructure drawings, modifications and updates are being finalized. Since the first extension, the developer and the engineer have been in contact with the Department of Public Works to receive those approval of the improvement plans for phase 3, and those conversations, again, like I mentioned, are still currently ongoing. The applicant has indicated where additional site improvements are required and processes have been difficult due to changing infrastructure design standards. Obviously, over the lifetime of this 20-year project, things are going to change, so again, citing that as a difficulty there. Engineering of the previous phases has been complete, as I mentioned, submitted and approved by Planning Commission as well as Public Works, respectively. Since then, many studies and modifications have been required, delaying the completion of phase 3. And as of mid-March 2026, the engineering is down to kind of one last set of updates as indicated by the applicant, which will be submitted to Public Works hopefully in the coming months to get that finalized and approved. The County Planning Commission staff has reviewed Pembroke Place's request for phase 3 preliminary plan extension and has consulted with Olmsted Township, the Public Works Department, and other reviewing entities as such. So again, planning staff has reviewed and all entities have reviewed and are recommending that the phase 3 Pembroke Place preliminary plan be extended for an additional 2 years. And then this extension of approval is subject to the conditions set forth in that original approving resolution number 220414B. This is the final extension allowed before the final extension allowed before the applicant would need to resubmit the preliminary plan and restart the entire approval process over again, and that's pursuant to section 104.5.6 of the 2020 Cuyahoga County Land Development Regulations. Should be noted that if approved, the expiration date for the Pembroke Place Phase 3 preliminary plan will be set for April 9th, 2028 at that point. So then moving into next steps, once the developer meets all conditions set forth in Resolution 220414B and has satisfied all requirements of the improvement plan stage of the subdivision as set forth in section 104.6 of the county subdivision regulations, the developer may construct improvements notifying the County Department of Public Works for inspection during and after said construction. After improvements have been installed, inspected, and found sufficient, the developer then may submit a final plat for Pembroke Place Phase 3 to the Cuyahoga County Planning Commission for review and ultimate approval there. And then, as I noted, final plat approval for Phase 3 shall be obtained before April 9th, 2028. With that, I will turn it over to you all if you have any questions. Mr. Tom Simon, the applicant, is here if you have any questions for him as well.
Thank you. Any questions from the commission? Mayor Orcutt.
My question is this, I've been part of this commission since 2022. It seems like we're always seeing extensions, we're always seeing somewhat of delays, and we're hearing from the township that it may be the county. Obviously, the County Public Works has been around for a while. What are the big delays that Public Works is seeing? Are we meeting some of the standards for stormwater, or is there a specific issue?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question. And my apologies, I was not here during that whole process, and maybe Tom can speak more to this as far as specifics, but the understanding that I had was that certain plans were submitted under previous requirements. Obviously, within that 20-year timeline, things are going to update. I think it was maybe just some miscommunication between the developer and Public Works at that point as far as what may have been required versus what was submitted. And so, again, there's just been a lot of back and forth with that. I know there's been, turnover in ownership with this particular project, as well as turnover in engineers as well. Again, I don't know.
Looks like Mr. Simon's ready to
Sure, I'm happy to
say a few things. Thank you.
I'm happy to fill in blanks as much as you'd like to hear me ramble on. Would it be possible to go back to your slide that showed the overhead view? That's perfect. So just quickly, just a little bit of background. So Pembroke Place was originally approved in, I think, 2003. I was still in grade school then. But it was originally, Pulte Homes was was a developer working with Forest City. I think it came along when the sewer work was done along Shady. Anyway, a quick history. So Pembroke Phase 1, the entire project was not only approved, it was all designed, it was all engineered, all the engineering was done and approved. I think the first phase went in maybe in 04, 05. Phase 1 went in. Phase 2 then got paved. Pulte left. They didn't leave town. They left this project. I don't know why. Gross Builders came in. They built a handful of buildings, and then they left. So the project basically failed twice. We bought the remaining land, and at that time, this street was paved out to here. This entire project was designed, as Eric said, for townhome buildings. They were mostly 5 and 6 unit townhomes, okay? So we went to the township and we said, look, this project should finish. We'd like to finish. That's what we do. We're local builders. We build attainable, I don't like to use the word affordable, but attainable, high-quality homes. That's what we do, okay? We don't build $500,000 and up. You know, we're in that. We have product in the market at $2,099 in Lorain County, up to about $350. So there's a big need there, but I will say it's very difficult to satisfy that need because of costs and everything that goes with it. So anyway, we had all of these. This area here was all built and had begun building here attached townhome buildings. So we came to the township, this was COVID era, and we said, look, if we come in here and build more townhomes, we're gonna kill all the people that own homes in this community. Because if you're gonna come and buy a townhome, you're gonna buy the new one because it's only a little bit more money, right? So we said what we'd like to do is come in, bring the density down a little bit, the number of units down. So this was all set up for another 48 homes. We brought it down to 42, worked with the township to get variances that allowed us to build detached homes. And that's what we did, and it was terrific. Then we came over here to phase 3, where there was no infrastructure in the ground. That's when things became very, very difficult because the whole site was designed and engineered. And then we came to the county, Public Works said, oh, well, you know, we need to work at all of the new standards. So like, I get it for a new subdivision, but we're tying on to sewers that existed, designs that existed that were all approved by previous planners, previous engineers. So it's just been a challenge, but we've worked through most of the issues. We're down to 1 or 2, but you know, it was kind of like, we brought a complete set of plans and then we get comments back, well, we need to study the entire storm sewer system that you're tying onto. We study the storm sewer system. Okay, now we need to, now mind you, every time we go from an engineer needing to just change a pipe size from, you know, they can change a pipe size from 8-inch to 10-inch, that doesn't take much time. But when it's study the entire system, they have to schedule it, it takes a lot of time. So anyway, we go from, you know, study this and then submit, study that, then submit, study that. So fine, it's just taken a decent amount of time. In the meantime, we're a small operation. We don't operate in 10 subdivisions at once, so we have to set priorities. And so this one's about ready to go. We've figured out the issues. The engineer will be submitting another set of drawings here fairly shortly, and then we hope to roll forward. And that's a lot of talk, but you get the picture.
When are you anticipating that those plans will be ready?
I expect that they'll be ready to submit. I mean, they're almost ready to submit now. They're just waiting for the go from me. Along the way, we just keep writing checks and spending money. So, you know, we're gonna resubmit. We've already talked to the county. Everybody knows what we're doing. Just a matter of finishing it up. And so we'll be submitting as it's getting close to time for us to be ready to roll in and do the work, so.
And if I could too, I know, I mean, I'm not an engineer, but I know in other plans, some of the previous regulations allowed the T or dead ends. Now in current subdivision regulations, it's more of a cul-de-sac type
Correct.
emergency service response.
Right.
Radius and turning radius, so a lot of those kind of things change, which changes configuration of roadways. Plus, I will say, just the amount of development that's happened in the township over the last 20 years, and hydraulic studies have become more and more important for the developments. That's likely components of this as well, beyond the physical design, of the site.
But suffice to say, it sounds like the full 2-year extension is not gonna be needed. It's really coming up now because we're a couple of days away from the original extension.
That's right. That's right, yep. Thanks.
Please, Mayor.
What constitutes, well, the extension,
Sure.
but then what do you have to do to be in compliance with the extension? How many have to be built, or tell me, it be completed or just?
Well,
In
my
the
understanding is, this is more of a procedural thing, my understanding is we have to be to the point where we can submit the plat for approval. Is that correct?
Approved a year ago,
Right.
and there's no real timeline. You've fulfilled your commitment as far as this is concerned.
Once we get to plat, my understanding is you come to, you're at plat either when the improvements are all done and in, or you post the financial guarantee to put the improvements in. Right. So, is that correct?
Yep,
Okay.
you're absolutely right, yeah. So essentially, once Public Works approves in-house those improvement plans, that just gives them the go-ahead to hit the ground running with construction, right, for those improvements. Obviously, we're gonna need to see, as you mentioned, guarantees in place for all of that. There's a whole list of requirements for that final plat, but basically that gives them the go-ahead to proceed with that concurrently as they construct those improvements. Correct, yep. And so, yeah, they'll have 2 years, if granted, 2 more years to get that to us, you all as the body, to approve that final plat.
And for what it's worth, the delays have not been, much of the delay has not been on us. We submit, and then Public Works, it's a different situation for them too. I also think they had some staffing problems. The primary engineer that we were working with is no longer with the county through this time frame. So I'm making phone calls and sending emails, but there was nobody at the other end, but we didn't know that. So, but we'd submit, it would take them a while to get back with the next project for us to do. And, there was a lot of downtime then in between. So it hasn't been just on us, but it's all been justified. I'm not saying it's not, but it's just a unique situation.
Okay, we'll go to Mayor Orchid and then Councilmember
I'll
Simon.
just say, I think, as I've been following this for the last four years, I think, and this is just a wild guess, I don't know really if the issue lies with the county, but more in the fact that just the township is not incorporated.
Yep.
I believe that may be our issue. So that's something that has nothing to do with you or Alan. Maybe that's something that we need to talk to the trustees about.
Councilmember.
Exactly, what I was gonna say. What I've been here since 2011, and Olmsted Township has exploded, and the County Planning Commission has been here to try to, adjust to all these changes, and it's not workable anymore. You're right, they're growing, the population's growing. Director, we've talked about it being a good idea to incorporate the township, because it can't be on us to be handling all of the township's business, in my opinion. The trustees, I don't think they're here. So it's we're a step away from what's happening at the local level. And I really think it's important that is, I think, the disconnect. That's what I want to say. And it's important that we comply. I mean, all these water issues that I've observed over these years, it's really important. I'm sorry that it's not convenient, and there's extensions, but we've got to do it right. I mean, that's our job, and nobody's going to step aside and expedite if we think that there's going to be issues with drainage and the other house is getting flooded. No way, we can't do that. So it's just a circumstance that I hope
Right.
can change as the
Right.
population reaches a certain level. What number do we know what that is?
I don't.
Okay,
For
I
the-
think we,
14.
For the township, they're
Yes.
just over 14,000.
14,000.
okay.
Please.
If I could just add, and to Mr. Simon and to Eric too, I mean, just that if you are not getting a response from Public Works side, please do feel free to reach out to me and Eric and just let us know so we can help move things along.
Yeah, that was an anomaly. We learned that particular individual, maybe, I don't really know, but maybe there were, I don't know, health issues or whatever. I think he took extended time off and then just ended up leaving, kind of out of nowhere was my understanding. But that's not the only factor, but again, it's just been a lot of stuff and all kind of unique, and that's okay, and you're exactly right. Just stuff needs to get done, and, you know, we're working through it, and we're pretty much through it, and there you go. Thank you, yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Sure, okay, my pleasure. Sorry for the rambling.
No worries.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Very good, then, do we have a motion to approve the extension to approve the extension?
So moved.
Thank you very much, Councilmember. Good, we have a second from Mayor Orchid, so we have a motion from Councilmember Conwell. Any other questions, comments? All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. You guys. Great. Next, we have Resolution 260409B.
Thank you. This is a resolution approving the infrastructure improvement program and administrative cost agreement with OPWC for fiscal year 2028, round 41, and Elaine Price will be presenting today.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to be here. This is an annual thing. I think most of you know what this is, but we are contracted with the Ohio Public Works Commission to manage the State Capital Improvement Funding Program through District 1, which is us, our District 1 Public Works Committee, Operating Committee. So just a little background, the whole program was established in the late 80s. It's governed by the Ohio Revised Code, and we administer it. Do it, Kevin. Our district is District 1, the Public Works Integrating Committee, and the members who ultimately make the decisions about everything, there's 2 from Cuyahoga County, and that's Mike Dever and Nicole English. 2 from the largest municipality, which is Cleveland, and that's Bonnie Tewan and Jamie DeRosa. And then 2 from the suburbs, and it's Mayor Weiss and Mayor Kumar. And then we have 1 member of the public, and that's Caitlin Milius. Then the team that does the work of the evaluations, I'm the liaison. It's 1 person from the county, 1 from the largest municipality, and 1 from a suburb. So we have Matt Pastorelli here from the county. We have Paul Fatica from the city of Cleveland, and Tony Armagno from the suburbs. He's the engineer for the city of Berea. And the programs, the SKIP program, that's grant and loan, and there's a revolving loan program. So these are interest-free loans. When the municipalities pay them back, they go into the revolving loan program that keeps regenerating itself. There's the Local Transportation Improvement Program, the LTIP program, which comes from a different source of funding. So it comes from the gasoline tax. So there's some components where you cannot blend those 2 funds, but we get them all. Then there's a small government commission for communities that are under 5,000. If they are not funded through the regular program, there's a chance they could be funded different pot of money. It's a state competition for those. And then there's an emergency program. So this past round, we had roughly $40 million for divvied up according to the grant, the loan, and then the LTIP. And we awarded funding to 24 projects. We have recommended for funding. They're not officially funded until the state funds them, and that happens in June. But typically the recommendations are taken. So out of 34 projects, there were 24 in the standard program. We also submitted for the small government program. I hope that they're expected. So this resolution is to authorize Mary, us to coordinate and administer the program. We assist the applicants, we conduct site visits and evaluate, and the resolution is for the cost agreement and the budget, authorizing Mary to enter into contract and authorizing Mary to sign off on our requests for reimbursement. So we are not spending money, we are getting money. So this is $65,000 that comes to us to administer the program.
Any questions?
Is this the old, issue 1?
Yes.
Real good. Hearing no other questions, do we have a motion to approve the administrative cost agreement and to authorize the executive director to administer said agreement.
So moved. Second.
Motion from Councilmember Simon, second from Mayor Kurtz. Any other discussion? Oh, no, yes.
Very good.
We have Mayor Weiss abstaining. Very good.
Thank you.
Do we need to do a roll call vote or? Okay, we need to do a roll call vote.
Okay. Chris Alvarado,
Aye.
Mayor Burke,
Aye.
Councilperson Conwell,
Aye.
Gallo,
Yes.
Martha Fields,
Yes.
Mayor Kurtz,
Yes.
Mayor Orcutt,
Yes.
Councilperson Simon,
Yes.
Mayor Weiss.
Abstain.
It passes.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank
All
you.
right. Now we've got Resolution 260409C. Deborah's running out of time.
Yes, Mr. Dever is running out of time. He has not been spotted. Thank you. Resolution 260409, Patrick Hewitt will be presenting today.
Thank you, members of the board. I'll take my time then. This afternoon, we are requesting approval of the resolution to authorize the acceptance of funds and contribution of in-kind services for the development of the Cuyahoga County Unified Zoning Code. We have talked about this a number of times, and this is the first of likely a series of resolutions and contracts that will be coming before you as we get this project underway.
Very temperamental.
So as you may recall, the Unified Zoning Code is a comprehensive zoning ordinance that will be held and maintained by the Cuyahoga County Planning Commission, but that will be adopted and administered by individual communities. The idea here is to assist in modernizing zoning regulations to help unlock development opportunities and doing that through a shared platform. That platform would be updated regularly by county planning while still preserving local administrative authority and approvals so that communities can continue to shape their own growth. We have done a little bit of refining since we last met as it pertains to estimated costs and to funding. Based on the work that we've been doing, we estimate that a consulting firm will cost approximately $400,000 to undertake this work, and that on the county planning side, we estimate putting in approximately $445,000 of our own staff time to help administer this and attend public engagements. In total, that would bring the cost for approximately 7 communities to $845,000. We do already, and we're excited to announce, have a number of funding sources. The Cuyahoga Land Bank and the Akron-Cleveland Association of Realtors both have committed $25,000 for a total of $50,000 towards this project. And we just last week submitted a grant request for $150,000 to the Cleveland Foundation. We also anticipate requesting from communities a contribution of approximately $35,000 per community. For 7 communities, that would total $245,000. If all those do come through as we anticipate, that would be $445,000 towards this project. We do have a number of other funding organizations that we've been speaking to, so we hope that we can continue to fundraise, but we would also be providing in-kind services that could cover that remaining gap. When we look at a timeline, this is a long project, and that's one of the reasons why we're coming to you today. Looking at this, if that fundraising does come through as anticipated, contracting and fundraising would continue through the end of Q3 of 2026. We would begin looking for a consulting firm later this year and begin development by the end of the year of this code. That would include both the development and general public outreach, as well as towards the end of that, a legal review of that code. We would then move into the adoption process in 2028. That could take a little bit, and we outlined 3 steps. The first, which will again come back to you at some point, would be to establish an official committee of the board that would be made up theoretically by a group that you would determine, but that could be the communities that have participated in the Unified Zoning Code to help provide a recommendation on any changes as well as initial adoption of the code. Then the County Planning Commission Board would adopt the code before we would go out to communities to request their adoption of the County Planning Commission's code. From there, we would look to roll out maintenance and tracking. This would really be ongoing, but starting there in 2029 and continuing forward from that point. That $845,000 would cover this period of time for that project. Today, we're asking for 2 items. First is to request approval to accept funds for the development and maintenance of the Cuyahoga County Unified Zoning Code, so that initial $50,000 that we already have committed, as well as any additional appropriations that might be sent our way from grants and funding sources. And to request approval to authorize the executive director, Mary, to contribute our in-kind services in support of this project. We don't typically ask you for approval to authorize in-kind support, but because of the scale and longevity of this plan, we wanted to bring this to you early to get that level of support from the board to undertake this work. With that, I'm happy to entertain any questions. Thank you.
So I guess one question that I'll have is there a timeline with regards to spending these grant dollars? Oftentimes there's a year or two deadline, or is it fairly open-ended?
The two that we received already were fairly open-ended. The Cleveland Foundation, we requested a 2-year grant period on that one.
I think, yeah, so we gave ourselves some time on that. And I think the other point is, this is gonna be structured much like Safe Streets and Roads for All in terms of the OBM fiscal side, where there'll be an accounting unit that the dollars go to, so that we have money to reimburse the consultant rather than mixing it in with operating funds. So now that we've got the commitment, that's something that we're working with OBM to set that up so that those dollars get deposited into that account that then can be used for paying the consultant.
One requirement of the Akron-Cleveland Association of Realtors funds was that we would present it to their organization so that they can have it as a learning opportunity for them as well.
That's a
We
good
thought
thing
that was
for us as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess the only other question I had, is there any assistance that you need in terms of securing additional funds, in terms of, support or outreach?
We would certainly take any assistance from anyone on the board with potential funding opportunities. We have done outreach to the First Suburbs Consortium, to mayors and managers, but we also have been working with our partners to understand other funding opportunities that are out there. And we've had a number of conversations that we've been tracking with other organizations. There are a few who have indicated that they may be willing in the future to further fund some of this effort, including some of our current funders that might be willing to fund again in future years, but nothing as committed as the ones that we've presented today. We are meeting with the consortium communities, those communities that have indicated their interest in late April, and we'll be rolling out the contracting process as well as the engagement process to make sure that everybody feels comfortable as we enter into contract for this.
I think just to add on to that point, we have met with another foundation, and a lot of it is that education piece. This is something unknown to so many, so really getting an understanding of it, gradually introducing it to their boards and other things. So we've got not a no, but not a right now. And so again, this is gonna be a 2-3 years, so it's not like if we don't get the funding up front, as long as we get those initial commitments to cover the cost of a consultant, we'll continue going and then additionally fundraise for ongoing maintenance and other costs.
And then I guess I just have one more question, that really more for the members of the Planning Commission. Is there a need to separate the vote to accept the fund from the vote to approve the in-kind services, or do folks feel like we can just put them in one vote?
It's all in one.
It's all in one resolution.
All in one resolution, there we go. All right, so do we have a motion to both approve the acceptance of the funds and to authorize in-kind services if needed? Motion from Mayor Burke, second. Second from Mayor Orchid. You're almost there. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that's it. And Executive Director's
Thanks,
report?
Patrick. Yep, just for me, and I know we are doing very well on time. Unfortunately, Mike Devers must have been called away. He has not returned back to his office, so we'll have to just give him his gift in secret. I texted Nicole, so the county executive did a resolution in honor of his service. And we just had a little gift since he was on the board this year. Anyway, okay, we'll move on. So just a few highlights and updates for you as we go through. We're already in April, which is so hard to believe, and I want to thank you for doing 3 back-to-back board meetings. We are not having a May board meeting, as far as I can tell or control, so we'll get a little reprieve and we'll be back in June. So our annual report, just before this meeting, we were putting the final touches on that, so I just want to thank the team, Susan and Kevin, who have led the effort, so thank you huge to them. It's been an ongoing effort on top of all the work that everyone's doing every day. Luke, Patrick, Dan, Alex. We brought Alex in at the last minute really, and just her design eye and graphic ability. And so I think we've got some lessons learned for doing it next year, but just a huge thank you to everybody for fitting it in and they're on top of their existing work. And then just really our whole entire team for all the work that they do in the communities and just really making an impact. And I'm always so proud just getting the feedback on the team and the work that they're doing. And so we'll just keep going and, keep doing the same for this year. So just want to thank you to everybody there. And thank you, Kevin. So that's coming out today. So after this meeting, I'll send out a link to all of you. So it's an online annual report, and then we'll go post it publicly and get it on social media and all those fun things. So Community Planning Services Program, if you remember, this was our old planning grant program. We took out the word planning grant because we weren't actually giving money, and so we cleared that up last year, the year before. But it is time again to open that up for applications for communities to apply for our services. So we are going to be opening applications on April 20th. Then people can have time for asking any questions. May 8th will be the deadline for any questions to come in. Applications will then be due May 20th at 3 p.m. and we will be making award announcements by July 1st. So we still have active projects on all 4 of the ones that we awarded last year. So we're trying to give some space to finish those up and then try and stagger the new work going on. So very similar to the previous years and what we're going to be taking in. It could be community planning, it could be technical services, but more information to come on that. And so I'll make sure once we release that, I send it with all of you so you can share too with your fellow mayors and communities to make sure everybody knows it's out there. And Jim Sonhalter from our team will be leading that effort and those Q&A period. Safe Streets and Roads for All, I don't think I told you, but maybe I did, but we actually have executed our contract. I think it happened between the last meeting and this one. So we now have a fully signed and executed contract with the Federal Highway Administration for our Safe Streets and Roads for All award from 2024. So we are excited to kick off the work. This is a $600,000 reimbursable grant. So we worked with OBM and Fiscal to have an advancement of the $300,000 for this year. So that we had money to pay a consultant. Most likely, we're not going to be able to spend all of that in this year. So we'll request it to be moved into the following year for whatever balance there is. We do have a $150,000 in-kind match that we're required. So that will be a lot of our internal work and helping with outreach and public engagement. But we're looking to kick that off with our project team and peer cohort communities, which are other communities that have also received SS4A grant dollars and have active projects or in the process of starting that. So it's really a coordinated effort. And we want to make sure that we catch everybody that may have gotten awards since we originally got our award in 2024. So Jim Sonhalter will be the project manager on that. Megan Cheney on our team will be leading that effort. And so this is, again, another big, bold effort and working with a lot of community, a lot of outreach to communities. And it'll probably be, we've got a 3-year contract with FHWA to finish it. So we'll be putting out an RFQ for a consultant for this project as well. And so this is, again, a comprehensive safety action plan for Cuyahoga County. So we're really excited about that, really looking at some of these high frequent crash intersections and fatal crashes. So looking at bike, pedestrian, and automobile. So excited to get that work finally started. Opportunity zones, I'm not sure how much you're talking about this locally in your community, but this is a chance now that we're going to be redoing opportunity zones. So this is originally designated in 2017 where there was big investments for new projects in certain census tracts. There are new eligibility areas in 2026, so different census tracts. Some of them align with the previous ones, but not all. So we have met internally with our GIS team, Patrick and others, and we've worked with other departments to kind of take a look at where are the TOD corridors, where are there some known projects already with these eligible areas to see if we can try and coordinate within the county on who's going to be requesting opportunity zone areas in their community. So I know there's been outreach for Suburbs Consortium. We've reached out to RTA. I don't know, Mark, I know Tom McNair, and I think Chris, you spoke. Just trying to think about where some of these big efforts are, because there's a portal that's going to be opening. It's supposed to open already. It's not open yet, but sometime this month, where you can make recommendations in that portal, and then the governor would make recommendations to the U.S. Treasury in July. So I don't know if you want to say anything on this.
Yeah, I'll just add that the last communication with the Ohio Department of Development is that they may not have the portal open by the end of this month, but they'll at least have the timeline. So we'll know what the expectations are when it comes to the communities that do have eligible census tracts for them to be able to submit their recommendations. What we're reminding everybody, they're hearing this from the state, but also from us, is that only 20% of eligible tracts can be chosen by the governor. So it's important to choose wisely when it comes to what those recommendations are, rather than choosing everything that's eligible. Really focus in on those areas that not only need the investment, but are able to leverage the kind of investment that would come through the Opportunity Zone designation.
So it's not that you have to, work with everybody at the county to express that information, but if you do have areas that you've identified and you're thinking about this, I would encourage you to talk to Chris and just kind of figure out how we can look a little bit coordinated as a county versus everyone competing with each other,
And
especially when
to be
there's a
able to
limit.
provide the support.
Absolutely, yeah, so we can do all kinds of mapping, and I know Patrick found today, was it the
Urban Institute.
Urban Institute has done some analysis, and so he's requested some information from their mapping to see if we can share that as well. So I think the more we know, the better, on how we can make some educated recommendations here. So that's it for me.
Any questions? Any old business? Any new business? Any motion to adjourn?
Marka.
Motion from Mayor Weiss, second from Ms. Fields. Oh, from Mayor Kurtz,
One or
rather.
the other.
One or the
Mayor
other.
Kurtz,
Yeah, Mayor.
second. All right, thank you very much. Meeting's adjourned.
Thank you. Look at that, 45 minutes.
They're here.